Hey guys, if you're enjoying the content that I'm making, please click that subscribe button. Also remember to click that bell button and make sure to tick that box to send all notifications so you don't miss out on any videos. With that in mind, let's get on with the video. What's up guys, welcome to Munchkins Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Munchkins logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. And welcome to my video guide on the Power and Magic's Chasm, Pitch, the Chaos difficulty. So we are finally here guys, we are finally in the Chaos difficulty. And just before I start this video, I would just like to say, while the Cosmos era has been short, it has been quite fun, and some of them have been a challenging fight as well. I am thinking of making my usual top 3 or 5 hardest Cosmos fight in DFFOO. Just like when the Cosmos era started, I made a top 3 or top 5, I can't remember on top of my head now, it's been a while, hardest EX fight. So I am planning to make a video of that, and hopefully you guys enjoy that video as well. And just a reminder, a quick reminder to you guys, if you haven't already, to make sure to subscribe to my channel if you do enjoy my content, and click the like button as well. I am trying to get to that 1,000 subscriber by the end of this year, so if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and find it informative as well. Without further ado, let's start this video. Now, as always, we'll start this video off with the weaknesses, resistances, and in this case, how some of the elements can be absorbed by the boss and their abilities. Now this is a heretic fight, it is a 3-wave fight, and the first wave is going to be 2 heretic tears eyes. So it can absorb the ice and the holy element, and it has a very strong resistance to magic attacks. As for its abilities, it has Waterga, which is a powerful water magic brave attack. Ultrasonic, which is a magic HP attack. Water Bullet, which is a water magic brave attack plus an HP attack. Group Watera, which is a group water magic brave attack. Shining Tears, which grants itself a attack up and a speed up to its party. Magic Deluge, which basically raises its max brave and attack and as well as its speed. It also has Big Wave, which is a group water magic brave attack. This grants itself a turn rate up buff to itself, and has a fair chance of inflicting a speed down on all targets. And finally, it has Glower, which inflicts a defense down on all targets. Next up, in the second wave, we do have the Heretic Hill Wyvern, and you will be fighting 2 of them as well. As for its resistance, it doesn't have any... it does have a strong resistance to magic attacks. It doesn't have any weakness, and it can absorb the ice and the holy element as well. As for its abilities, it has Firaga, which is a powerful fire magic brave attack. Wind Shot, which is a wind magic brave attack, which also inflicts an initial brave down and speed down. Dragon Breath, which is a group fire magic brave attack, inflicts attack down, defense down on all targets. It also has Headbutt, which is a single target melee HP attack. Dragon Rage, which grants itself a max brave up, attack up, and a speed up to itself. This also increases its brave at the same time and raises its melee resistance by 1 level and returns to its normal after an HP attack. Now, while it says this as well, I did notice that after 2 turns, it will revert itself back. I'm not entirely sure as to why the game mentions that it just returns itself to normal after an HP attack, but if you can stall it out for 2 turns, it will actually revert back to its normal form. Next is Blast Wave, which is a group magic brave attack. Sonic Wings, which is a group melee HP attack, and finally Melt Flame, which is a group fire magic brave attack plus an HP attack. And finally, we have the third wave, which we will fight 2 Heretic Guard Scorpions. It doesn't have any weaknesses, and as for its resistance, it has a high resistance to magic based attacks and can also absorb the ice and the holy element. And as for its abilities, it has Rifle, which is a range brave attack, Foot Stamp, I would say Stomp, but it says Stamp, which is a melee HP attack, Tail Laser, which increases its brave and will do a group magic HP attack and further increases its brave. This also has a plus version, which also has a higher turn rate than the normal version. Scorpion Tail, which is a melee brave attack. This also grants itself an initial brave up to itself. Range Shot, which is a group range brave attack. Then it has Tail Raise, which basically raises its speed, and Tail Lowered, which cancels the speed boost from Tail Raise. And finally, it has Moving Nimbly, which basically raising its attack, defense, initial brave, and its max brave. Alright, so now that we know the weaknesses, the resistances, and the elements that the bosses can absorb, it's time to take a look at some general tips and guide. And the first one is to save your abilities as much as you can. Now, this is not saying don't use your abilities at all, just try to use them not too frequently. Try to use your HP Attack Plus or HP Attack Plus Plus to save as much of your abilities as you can, because you might run out towards the end of this fight. Maybe try using 1/3 of your abilities for each wave, seeing as there are 3 waves in total. The next one is to bring in the boosted character. Now, there are obviously 6 characters that the game basically say that you can bring in this fight that have a 50% more stats. However, I would highly suggest just bringing 3 of them, which is Cloud, Vincent, and Dark Cecil. And the reason being is the other 3 are quite lackluster in terms of trying to clear this fight, especially the Chaos difficulty. Maybe in the lower tier difficulty you should be able to bring them along. However, in here, in the Chaos, probably not. Now, other characters that you may consider to bring if you don't have these 3 up here are Warrior of Light, Ramza, and Noctis. Now, there are obviously not much to choose from, and the main reason for this is the start of the Chaos era, and there's just not a lot of characters just yet that are up to par. I would probably suggest Garland as well, as seeing that his event sort of coincides with this Heretic quest, so you do have that option as well. And also, even though I actually recommend Noctis, I'm not 100% sure how effective he is. I haven't really tried him out. I know some people have actually used him though, so there is a chance to actually just clear this fight. Probably not complete, so it's really up in the air at the moment. Now, as for the Healers plus Brave Battery options, honestly, it's Charlotta or bust. There's not a lot of characters that are turn efficient when it comes to healing and having a Brave Battery. For example, like Aerith is just not a very turn efficient character. So is Yuna, and among the others as well, unfortunately, they're just not turn efficient. Maybe Selphie, but honestly, the only turn efficiency that she has is her aura, which is her EX ability. So there's really not much to choose from, and I would highly recommend just using Charlotta. Now, as for the summon, I highly recommend Ifrit or Ramu in this case, because, well, the bosses are all well, all of them can absorb the ice element, which is something you don't want. That's why you don't bring Shiva in this fight. Okay, so now that we have gone through some of the general tips, it's time to take a look at some of the strategy that I implemented to complete this fight. The first one is going to be for your friend support, which I would highly recommend bringing Cloud with his EX Plus, and of course Charlotta is also a good option. Now the next one is for basically if you're using Cloud with a Ramza, try to abuse Cloud's HP attack plus. It pretty much caps his Brave, especially when Ramza uses his Galvanize and gives the entire party a Brave regen buff. This is very, very strong, and all you have to do is basically use up one of Cloud's Cross Slash, and this basically will give you access to his HP attack plus. Also, if you're using a Ramza, his HP attack plus is very turn efficient as well. This will save you a couple of turns, or I should say quite a lot of turns, especially later down the track. Now the next one is to bring the Warrior of Light. Basically, shields will save your life, especially in the first two waves, seeing as the third wave, the Heretic Guard Scorpion actually bypasses the shields and basically will do an HP attack with their Tail Laser Plus. However, in the early two stages, these shields are very good, and the Warrior of Light is actually a pretty damn good Brave battery as well. Now the next one I have for you guys here is you can actually summon during wave 2 if you want. This is basically to avoid the Dragon Rage, so you don't have to deal with that, especially if you're not using Warrior of Light. However, I would highly recommend that you do use Warrior of Light for those shields. Basically, it basically makes Dragon Rage moot, like it cancels it out. There's a very low chance that the shields will get broken even with Dragon Rage. And if you do plan to bring Warrior of Light, I would recommend summoning in the third wave to avoid one of the Guard Scorpion raising its tail and inflicting you with a lot of the Tail Laser Plus. Now, it's important to note here that you can actually take 2 Tail Laser Plus attacks and you should still be able to complete the mission. The mission requires you to take less than 15,000 damage, so it rounds about 12,000 to 13,000 HP damage getting hit by the Tail Laser twice, so you should be fine even if you don't have a healer. Obviously this will affect your score, however I have been hit by the Tail Laser twice and still managed to get the amount of score that I need. Now the last one I have here is more of a tip rather than a strategy, which is you can actually redo this fight if you don't complete it at all in one go. You can complete the missions one by one as necessary, or whichever makes it easier for you to clear first, and then you will eventually just complete all of them. It's not like you have to do a perfect run from the get-go. You can just keep coming back. However, it is time consuming, but it is one of your options if you are struggling. Okay, so we've done the strategy. It's time to take a look at some possible party compositions for this fight. And I must say there's a very limited amount of party compositions that I can highly recommend. And the first one is the Warrior of Light Cloud Vincent with a Cloud support, and of course with a Ramuh summon. Now I would have to say at least maybe your Vincent here is going to need his EX Plus as well, and even with that I can't really guarantee a complete run with this team, because it's just not as turn efficient as having, say, a Ramza or a Charlotta that can, you know, skip by a turn. So while I think you can clear with this team, I don't know if you're able to actually complete it with this team. So there you go. The next one is the videos you guys have seen. It's basically what I ran with, and it's Warrior of Light, Cloud, and Ramza with a Cloud support as well as Ramuh Summon. Now, basically all the tips and the strategy that I mentioned earlier sort of coincide with this party composition. Basically, Cloud using his HP attack plus, and of course Ramza using his HP attack plus, and of course Warrior of Light also has access to his HP attack plus if all of your party are shielded. So a lot of saving of your abilities here, so it's definitely something to consider. And as you guys can see, I managed to clear it with this team. The next one is something that I was quite surprised with. People have been completing this Chaos fight with Warrior of Light, Dark Knight Cecil, and Charlotta as well. This is with a Cloud support and a Ramuh Summon. They've actually been getting quite a good clear run in this one and not even taking any damage as well. Dark Knight Cecil did get his rework, so I'm not 100% sure how effective he is, but from what people are saying, he's actually pretty good. Now, the last team that I can recommend is going to be Warrior of Light, Cloud with a Charlotta. And if you guys can see a pattern here, it's basically Warrior of Light in all across the board. You need Warrior of Light. I still haven't decided if I can actually beat this without Warrior of Light. I managed to clear it, however, I did not manage to do a complete run. So basically Warrior of Light will make your life a lot easier here, and again, this is with a Cloud support and Ramuh for the summon. Okay, so we are finally at the end of this video, and of course I will give you guys my final thoughts on this fight. Well, chaos is chaos. It is one of the most difficult fights that we will be getting, at least at the start of the chaos, because of the limited amount of characters that we can bring. Now, while there are obviously a lot of characters now that are level 70 Crystal Awakened, unfortunately not all of them are effective, and not all of them are very turn efficient as well. So I would highly recommend that bringing Ramza because he is highly efficient. Charlotta is also very efficient, but you have to remember that all the bosses here have a very high resistance to magic attacks. So Charlotta's HP attack plus, which is a hurl attack, I think it is, on top of my head, is not very effective. While the debuff is nice, it's still not that great in terms of dealing damage. So I have to admit here that for the most part, it was an okay fight for me. But that's only because I actually have the characters that you need to actually clear this fight with a very low stress level. If you don't have any of these characters that I have recommended, it can be quite stressful, and it's definitely going to be a difficult fight. For me, however, seeing that as I have, you know, Warrior of Light, I have Ramza, and I also have Cloud with his EX+, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I still needed to reset the fight, however, you know, I did manage to get there after like 3 to 4 tries, which is not bad considering I've done a lot more resets previously in the past. So the only main thing here, it is very time consuming, and you do feel like you're making more mistakes the more you keep on repeating this fight. And I have noticed that as well towards like the 4th reset. Yeah, it just, I made a few more mistakes that I feel like I could have avoided. And overall, like I said, because I have the characters that are meta, it's not too bad, but it is still difficult. Don't get me wrong, it is difficult, but I'm just saying I've had worse. I've had different fights where I resetted more than what I did here. So maybe I was lucky, maybe luck has something to do with that as well, but overall it is a difficult fight. It is chaos. Anyway guys, I think I will leave you right here. Please remember to click like and subscribe. I am again trying to get to that 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and hopefully you guys help me out with that. And comment down below which team you used. Did you use a different compositions from the ones that I mentioned here? Please let me know down in the comments below. As always, I would like to hear from you guys as well, if what you think of this fight. Did you find it difficult? Obviously it is the chaos difficulty, or did you find that because you have the meta characters it wasn't too bad? And just so you guys know, I am going to be showing you guys what my characters have in terms of passives and what type of weapons they have and such in this video as well. You guys will be seeing it now. And also make sure to follow me in social media. I am on Twitter at Munchkins Gaming, and you can also add me as a friend on Facebook if you want, at Munchkins Gaming. This is Munchkins logging off, and I'll see you guys in the next level.